Hey y'all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day that you are watching this video. As always, I hope that you are blessed and highly favored. First things first, always, and this is always the first thing that we'll ever talk about. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure that you go up and click on the notifications. Make sure that they are on for my channel so that you do not miss a video or beat or anything, however you feel about it. So today, I decided that I'm going to kind of talk about my Greek life journey. The last video I did, I talked about deciding to go to college and kind of sort of my journey about that and how I got to that point. But I also told y'all that later I would give like snippets or details about the journey along the way, because I kind of did like a quick overview of how I decided and how I got through. So as you can see, I am a proud member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, founded at the Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana. And this is also our centennial year, so y'all be nice to us. We are celebrating 100 years this year, and y'all can always cash app us anything with the numbers 1922. Cash app any soror that you see. And to my sorors, hey girl. But anyway, so I kind of want to talk about my journey and how I got to even decide to pledge, let alone how I decided my particular organization. So, funny thing is, I actually we had a Black History program when I was in third grade. Might have been fourth, whatever. It was elementary school. Might have even been fifth. It was probably fourth or fifth, actually, because third grade I was kind of younger. But I was in upper elementary. And funny thing is, I had not thought about this until my senior year, which is when I actually pledged. That's another thing that I'll come back to about your pledging time, but whatever. So I actually did a report or an overview of this particular sorority, which, like, in hindsight, it was just kind of like projecting like where I would actually end up at. Of course, in fifth grade at this time, like I had no idea that I would end up at this organization. Like I didn't even think about Greek life then. I was just like, in elementary school. I know some people do, but I didn't. I was just like really nerdy and all that, whatever. But I actually did an overview of the history because we did all the D9 organizations, and this happened to be the one that I was assigned. Crazy for life to bring you back around full circle. But anyway, and I did that in fourth or fifth grade for the Black History program, which I actually did it twice, I think, because we had it in the daytime and after school for parents to come and see us. But nevertheless, so fast forward to my college years. Actually, I won't fast forward to my college years. I'll fast forward to like middle school, high school. So the only organizations that I was used to seeing was, of course, the AKAs and the Deltas. Like, that's all you saw. That's all I saw. That's what all my teachers were. They were one or the other. And I had, I believe, two teachers. They actually weren't even my teachers. They just happened to be on staff in middle school that were Zetas. So I never actually came across a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated until I got into college. And by the time I got into college, like, of course, in middle school and high school, you kind of like, you see the organizations, you're like, oh, okay, I might want to do that. But I wasn't like deep into it to the point where I was just like, I know this is what I want to do. You know, this is the org that I want to pick. I never thought about that. I actually did not decide to dabble into Greek life until my junior year, where I kind of started thinking about it, and I was like, maybe I should, see this. And I actually ran into like, well, I can't say ran into. I actually had some classes with some Zazas who I actually really liked. Like, they were really sweet people or whatnot. But I didn't want to base my opinions strictly off of that or whatnot. Like, I really loved them, and to this day, I still love those girls. Like, Shouts out to them or whatnot. But and I was like kind of looking into it, and then I kind of threw it in the background. I was like, man, that ain't something that I want to do. Come back around. I actually went to a SGRO interest meeting my junior year or whatnot, and I had to leave early. Like my story is really, it's really crazy, but I actually had to leave early from that particular meeting because something happened or whatnot. And I was working on campus, and one of the members, Stephanie, if you're watching this, like, I'll never forget this. She came into the health center, which is where I was at, and she was like, "What happened to you? Like, you didn't come back." And she kind of like talked to me or whatnot, and she was just so nice. And I was just like, okay. But again, didn't base this off of, just the people alone or whatnot. But like that kind of stuck with me, that like she came in and was like, "What happened to you? Like, we were hoping you come back," and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. But anyway, still didn't do it my junior year. Senior year, I came back. I came back and went to another interest meeting, and I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing this. After I actually did like my research. So I'm saying that I threw it kind of in the back burner, but every now and then I would come back around and kind of do my research on the organizations and what they stood for, like, how they were founded and all this stuff. I kind of did some of that during my junior year, so that by the time senior year came back around, I was like, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happened. And that's key, to do your research. Like, you have to know what these organizations are standing for, what are the programs that they put out, just what they mean in general. You have to know that, and you have to do your research to know that if it's a great fit for you. And also, see the people that's in there, talk to those people, see if those are people that like are a really good fit for you. And for me, one of the things about being around members of SUO were like they were all so different. I'm not one for stereotypes, but sometimes there are some stereotypes that like really do, like, sometimes they can be massively true, and sometimes they can't. It kind of depends on the school that you're at, the chapter. It kind of depends, but I felt like at the time when I was in school, I was like, all these other orgs kind of fit their stereotype. Most of the women that are there versus my organization, they were so different. Like, I didn't know who I was going to interact with. They were just different. Like, some of them would be like really sweet. Some of them would be like really like alpha female. Like they were just like dominant personalities, and it was just so many things. And I felt like I saw so many different personalities, and I felt like, wow, this is the fit for me, because I don't have to fit a specific stereotype. And I'm not saying that in other organizations there aren't other people that are different, because they're very different. There are definitely massive amounts of women who are different from the stereotype that these organizations have. Even us, like, we're all very different. But anyway, that's kind of how I came to the decision and everything that they stood for. Like, Swim 1922 was really one of the biggest things. Like, first off, I can't swim or whatnot, and there was always kind of something that I really wished I could do. And to see that this was a major initiative for my organization, that was really one of the things that brought me in, because I was like, yes, we're going to teach these kids, especially our Black children, how to swim. Like, we need to know this. We need to know this and whatnot. But there were also other initiatives that they had out, and I was like, yes, that is definitely the one for me. And then this organization being founded by educators, that was also a really big thing for me, because I'm big on education. I am an educator myself. I am not in the teaching world, but I'm in education, and so that was big for me. And at the time, I thought that I was going to teach, but I decided this ain't for me. But I do believe in teaching our next generation, and however I can fit in that particular realm of things, that's what I'm going to do. So I do consider myself an educator, and all of us that are people that do other things that's not necessarily teaching or in the classroom every day, because each and every day we are teaching our kids. They see all of us each and every day. So whatever. But those are just some of the reasons why I picked my particular organization. And you have to know you have to stay true to yourself. You have to know like what's your core values, and does this organization match that? Do the people that like are a part of that particular chapter on whatever campus you're on, or whatever chapter that you're seeking out, like, do these people stand for that? You know what I mean? So those are just like my 2 little cents to like, or my journey of how I got here. And even after I went through my process of becoming a member, I still feel just like an overwhelm of joy. And I know for a fact that I picked the right organization. I wouldn't change it for anything. I never second guess it. I never regret it. I just really don't. And I feel like though the women that I have met and dealt with, and they have just been amazing people that like I wouldn't change this for anything. And there are so many of them that I can call and ask for anything. Especially I'm big on asking for advice, I promise y'all. But anyway, and then like my line sisters are so like, they're so supportive. Now let me tell you something. I'm telling you that like this is great, and which you know how they tell you the way the pros and cons of things. Because don't get me wrong, we have definitely had some moments that like we probably did not like each other, but then again, you're dealing with women. Like, we all have these very big personalities, and you're dealing with a woman. Come on now. But what I will say is that we do have the mindset to come back and to forgive and to keep trucking on. I say that to, from my personal experience with my own personal line sisters and even other sorors. Like, we've definitely had some moments that we were not each other's favorite person, but at the end of the day, we love each other, and we would hate to see anything crazy happen to the other one. So that's very important, because I'm telling y'all the pretty part about it, and most of it is pretty. Most of it is really, really pretty. It's beautiful. It's especially when it's going right. But when you're making decisions with in a room full of women, hey, something's bound to happen. We all have our different personalities, but other than that, and that's another thing that you have to know about yourself. You have to be one of those women that's able to agree to disagree and say, you know what, like, I don't agree with that, but let's figure out how to make it work. You have to be that, because the women that are in your organization, like including you, y'all make that organization. Like, that organization is like y'all are the face of it, and you have to be a person that is okay with making decisions with other women and understanding that it's not going to always go your way, even when you want it to. Like, you just have to be a cooperative person. And that's one of my biggest pieces of advice, as far as after you have officially become a member. Just being cooperative, being vocal about what you believe in, what you stand for, but also knowing when it's time to be like, you know what, let me see if I can compromise, or let me just say that, I don't agree with this, but you can suck it up and still, keep pushing through, because there will be many more times, many more events, many more, things to do that you could get whatever you're looking for out of it. So, but all in all, my experience has been a really great experience. I would not change it for anything. And not to mention, like, the network of women, like, It's top tier. It's really top tier. I can brag on my sorors. Like, I be looking at them and I see them and I interact with them. Like, I have some that like in healthcare, some are in criminal justice. It's just so many. It's so many different sorors that I can deal with, or say, if something in my personal life is happening, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. What's your advice about that? Whatever. Like, I'm sure other organizations got that, but I'm gonna brag on mine because, again, it's our centennial year, and I'm gonna brag on mine anyway. But that's the thing, like, knowing that you now have a network of so many people, and to know that, like, even in from state to state, from country to country, like, you just have so many sources, and you can just connect to people just that way. I can't tell you how many times, like, if I have something of mine on and I see a sword, like, we literally, like, hey girl, and I do the same thing, and you sit there and you talk to this woman, like you've known her for years. That's what you want out of your organization. Like, you want to feel welcome, and I must say that I feel welcome every time I see a new soror. So there's that. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, like I said, top tips is make sure you do your research, make sure that you know yourself, and make sure that you are an open-minded person. If you have any questions, send them in the comments, whatever, I'll answer them. But make sure that you subscribe to my channel, make sure you turn your notifications on, and I hope that you really enjoyed this video. And until next time, peace.